Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. So, today we are going to have a discussion on the topic women empowerment. So, basically, whenever you wish to start on this topic, you can start with any kind of the quotation that you have in your mind. For me, I would like to start this particular topic like with the quotation which was given by Louisa May Alcott, and the quotation was when women are the advisors, the lords of creation don't take the advice until they have pursued it themselves that it is just what they intended to do. Then they acted upon it, and if it succeeds, they give the weaker vessel half the credit of it. If it fails, they generously give herself the whole. So, if you have any quotation in your mind, you can start with that particular quotation and you can start the topic on the women empowerment. Even as Malala, she said that there are two powers in the world. One is the sword and other is the pen. There is a third power which is stronger than the both, and that power is of women. आप जब भी इस चीज को इनिशिएट करना चाहते हो एक बहुत ही अपने स्ट्रॉन्ग वॉइस के साथ आप अपनी वॉइस को रेज करके इनिशिएट कर सकते हो इस टॉपिक को. So I have given you example of two of these quotations. You can make use of any of your quotation that is there in your mind. So women empowerment, to define it, it's a moment. It's a movement that strives to eliminate the social, economic, and political divide between men and women. The term women empowerment, it came into existence in 19th century. Empowerment itself means giving power out. So basically, we can define women empowerment. What is the meaning of this women empowerment? When did this term it come into existence? We can mention about it. United Nations termed the period from 1975 to 1985 the decade for women. Additionally, 2001 was considered as the International Year for Women's Empowerment, which was also adopted by India. So basically, you should remember this, which year was International Year for Women's Empowerment, just to add a factual data to your lecturate, right? Also, I hope you are all aware when is International Women's Day, it's celebrated. So if you have the idea, just mention about the same in your lecturate. So let's talk about, according to United Nations, what is the meaning of women empowerment? Firstly, it's women's sense of self-worth. If she can realize what her potential is, that is the first component of the women empowerment. The second component says their right to have and determine choices, what she want to do in her life and what she does not want to, where to say yes and where to say no. That woman, if she is a woman, if she is having this ability, she is actually an empowered woman. The third component is their right to have access to opportunities and resources. Then fourthly, their right to have power to control their own lives, both within and outside the home. And at last, their ability to influence the direction of social change to create a more just social and economic order, both nationally as well as internationally. If I talk about women empower, you must have seen that last few years they have witnessed a sharp increase in the strategies of the women development by the state in order to eliminate the gender gaps by the state in order to eliminate the gender gaps in the work opportunities, political participation, health facilities, and distribution of resources. If you have idea of any of the strategy that was brought forth by the government, please mention about it. So, when women empowerment, when I think of women empowerment, there are few pictures that come to my mind, that flash in my mind. And if I talk about those pictures, it's of Kamala Harris, it's of Priyanka Chopra, it's of Harnas Kaur Sandhu, it's of Greta Thunberg. So all these women, those women that actually empower us to come out of our limits and to do something that makes us feel happy, that can actually encourage all others also to do something more in their life. That is what we call women as empowered women. So if one man can destroy everything, why can't one girl change it? For example, you must have heard about Serena Williams, 23 slam titles in her baggage, mostly in the open era. So if we talk about it, these are actually the examples of the women who have been there to motivate us time and again. Even our 15th president, she is a woman, Shrimati Draupadi Murmu. So if we talk about the women of the world, there are so many women who are empowering us and yet many more to come. And if you are a female candidate who is listening to me, you can also be one of the example of women empowerment if you qualify and if you get recommended in your SSB and you clear the final merit list. So there are so many examples. This is just one addition. This could be just one more addition to the women empowerment. As I have mentioned in this slide, there are 26 female presidents and prime ministers of the world in 2022, and they all have been doing their work with great honor, with great dignity. If I talk about India and women empowerment, government has taken steps time and again for empowering women. India as a nation has taken significant steps to fill the gender gaps existing in the societies here. The Constitution of India provides equality of employment opportunity, voting rights, and equal pay for equal work. What does the Constitution say about women empowerment? So, the principle of gender equality, everyone must have heard that without any discrimination, right? So, it is enshrined in our Indian Constitution. Women have fundamental rights to not be discriminated on grounds of sex under Article 15 and to get equal protection under the law, Article 14. Women are dominating the key positions in many fields that were earlier denied to them. The emergence of women to the strategic positions in the social structures has given way to relatively better understanding and identification of the oppressive practices. Today, Indian women, she has come out the image that was associated with the sari. She has made her presence felt virtually in every field. Women have ultimately come out of their sari image and entrapped the nation by dint of their hard work and power. Women empowerment is, in fact, the ability of women to exercise full control over her actions or over one's action. Empowerment of the women in India is conspicuous by many live examples that I have already mentioned you in the past slides. But is that all? Are only those women empowered? Isn't your mother empowered women? If not, how about rest of the Indian women world? Are the common women vested with powers to drive the nation? These are questions if posed to our so-called leaders, they would simply be parried. Women have become marionettes in the hands of them. Let me walk you through the various examples of the women empowerment. Today, with the changing times, they have made a name for themselves. You name a field and they are there in it. They have broken the shackles of gender stereotypes and stood to achieve their dreams and goals. For instance, social activists Sindhu Tai Sapkal, raising orphaned children. She has received Padam Shri in 2021. Avni Chaturvedi, all of you must be aware of her. Mary Kom, PV Sindhu. Even India's women cricket team finalist Commonwealth Games 2022. Tessie Thomas, she has been the missile women of India. Shakuntala Devi, she has Guinness World Record for fastest women competition. Shannon Dhaka, AIR-1 National Defense Academy. Top 3 All India ranks were achieved by female candidates in UPSC in the year 2021. Still, you want to know the examples of women empowerment from me. Then, as I told you earlier, if you are one who is listening to me as a female candidate, then be a one and another example for other people, for other girls of the women empowerment. If I talk about these schemes, since you have been preparing for your CDS or might be for your NDA, you might have learnt about these schemes at one or the other point of the time. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao scheme, Ujjwal Yojana, Swadhar Greh, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Mahila Shakti Kendra scheme, One Stop Center. All these schemes, they have been there for the women empowerment. At last, I would like to conclude by saying women, they should be reimagined. Yes, reimagined as the architects of India's and the world's progress and development rather than being passive recipients of fruits of development. The ripple effects of women led development are undeniable, as an educated and empowered women will ensure education and empowerment for future generations. So I hope you have got the idea how to speak and what to speak for your lecturate on women empowerment. With this, I would like to end this session. Thank you so much for listening to me.